This AskReddit user asks, what made you lose interest in a person you had a crush on? I got a promotion at work. He got butthurt and then stabbed me in the back. He was given a part of the promotion that I was given. Not even half of the responsibilities. When I realized that he was a weasel but also not good at being a weasel, he wasn't sexy anymore. Wow. That's crazy. Must have taken a while for that knife wound to heal. You're not like other girls, all my exes were crazy bitches. Why do some men think being low-key sexist is the way to get a GF? He thought he was so cool for being super manly, macho, and it was so GN off-putting. He would brag to me how many women he'd FD. As if I care? But then say how he hoped I hadn't gotten with anyone else. Like, dude? Are you insane? He'd also just make low-key sexist jokes and then berate me when I called him out. He'd act as if I was overreacting. Hint. Being a piece of ST will not win you dates. Bad money management. Not into someone who'll eventually expect me to help them pay off several credit cards. In 7th grade, I brought her a slice of cheesecake at lunch for Valentine's Day and she laughed at me in front of her friends and wouldn't even take it. I was socially awkward at the time, but that FD me up. In elementary school I bought a cheapo ring from the school bookstore and tried to give it to my crush. I gave it to her a few days later and she tried to stomp on it and destroy it. Must have been made out of vibranium because that little plastic ring didn't even crack. Took it back and gave it to my mom instead. I'm sure your mom got a lot more out of it. I feel you, man. Sorry. Got into similar situation when I was on elementary. Kids are cruel. Man. I found out the way he treated the multiple women he was talking to. He would dog on and make fun of them to impress the other, to imply that he wasn't interested and they were the only one he was talking to. As soon as they weren't single anymore. It's like, when I know they're single, I really like them. But as soon as they get a GF, it's like my attractedness goes from 80 to 100% to 0 to 10% real quick. She littered. It was supposed to be a nice walk in the park. We got Subway and she threw the wrapper and napkins in a garden. I picked it up and threw it out myself after she called me weird and walked away. People who litter just because there's someone who will pick it up are the worst. It's shameful when people don't want to maintain basic hygiene and decency. I'm a janitor at my local movie theater and constantly have to pick up stuff left behind by guests who refuse to use the multiple trash cans literally. On the way out of the theater. Like, you brought it in. Why can't you throw it out? Then I've had several people I know tell me they do it because people like me get paid to pick the trash up. I will also get paid to clean up a pile of ST in the middle of the lobby if you decide to take a dump there. But that doesn't make it all right. I'm so sorry. Things like this make me question such people's ethics and values. I mean, how is it even logical or sane to think, since you have been paid to pick up trash, we will litter more? Just because someone is paid to do it doesn't mean you deliberately make their job harder. It isn't very hard to be kind and reduce someone's work when all you have to do is put stuff in a dustbin. I guess some people just get a feeling of power when they act like this, when in reality they're just an AE. Weird one here. I loved this girl from school. She wasn't the prettiest, but she was really nice to me and complimented my makeup and stuff, and I was really happy. Then she said she thought an abortion would taste nice. Edit. Okay, apparently I need more context, but I'm not too sure how to give it. Like I knew something was wrong with her. She has scissors in her blazer pocket, and TBH, if I put her next to a USSR flag, she'd be the bigger red flag. But like, after school I was like, yo, I'ma get a Lucasade, and then by the drink bit she just casually went, an abortion would taste good. Year 9 was a weird ass year. What the heck did I just read? WHAT. Year 9 is always the weirdest year. Years ago, I went on a first date with a man I had a crush on. We went to the movies, and when it was finished, he placed all the wrappers from his snacks on the seat, instead of throwing them in the trash can on our way out. I asked him about this, and he said he earned the right to do that because of the high cost of the ticket. I lost interest immediately. Followed him on Instagram and saw that he was posting racist and sexist stuff. Unfollowed. Blocked. Never talked to him again. When I was in HS, there was a guy, Charlie, who was handsome and lots of girls had crushes on him, including me. If you didn't know him well, he seemed like a quiet, unassuming guy. We ended up joining the same extracurricular club. I was on the shy side in HS, so I didn't talk to him directly much other than for stuff regarding the club. Well, one day he was working on a club-related project and he was with some of the other guys in the club. They were talking as they worked. I was around the corner from them, working on something else by myself. They didn't know I was there, but I could hear every word they said. Long story short, one of the guys told Charlie that Ella, another member, had a crush on Charlie and wanted to go out with him. She wasn't the most gorgeous girl in school or the most popular, but she was very sweet and well-liked. When Charlie found this out, he scoffed and said, "To think that I'd ever go on a date with someone like her. I'd definitely be dating down. She's nothing." He said it with such a nastiness and disdain that any appeal he had to me shriveled up immediately, and I never looked at him the same again. Listen, I get that he may not have been attracted to Ella and didn't want to date her, but there was no reason to be such a nasty DK about it. He could have just laughed it off and changed the subject, but he didn't. Maybe it was to impress his friends in some strange way, or maybe he really was that much of an AE. I'll never know. Regardless, that spoke to his character and not in a good way. There's a difference between being uninterested and thinking you're better than someone. The way he said it is so narcissistic and mean. Cringing now. But it was 23 years ago. I was 16. There was this guy in one of my classes. Not gorgeous, but decent looking. Smart. Nice. Shy but in a very cute way, and I was kinda into him. We talked occasionally, but never hung out. One day one of my friends came to tell us that she overheard that guy telling a friend of his that he liked me. All of my friends were like, yeah, as if she would ever go out with him. Unfortunately, I went with that, although I really wanted to date him. Fast forward to our 10-year reunion and he shows up. I was blown away. He was gorgeous, achieved, and remained that nice, cute, shy person who is extremely smart. I was there with my then boyfriend, now husband, and told him the story. I still feel bad about my listening to my friends. He was the skater boy. She said later, boy, he wasn't good enough for her. She would try to behave depressed for attention. She just turned into a bad person, bullying kids and stuff. 3 years ago she had such a bubbly and genuine attitude, always enthusiastic for things, mixed with the wrong people and destroyed her character. Went to his house. He has a Confederate flag on the wall. Notepad out of that real quick. The fact that he used Internet Explorer. How many times do I have to apologize for that? Around 15 minutes between your comment and the comment you answered. That's pretty quick for someone that uses Internet Explorer. I don't know. Sounds like he's got some edge. She died. Found out she was an anti-vaxxer. The hot-o-meter went from 100 to 0 in about 2.4. She took a cat she had adopted and allowed it to run away because it had become noisy at night. I knew she allowed him to run away because a day later he came back smelling of the outside and meowing at her door. I took him in, washed him in the bathroom, and she kept sarcastically saying, "That's your cat now." Yay. He is. And I still have him and he's still annoying and loud, but I love him anyway. It's the ugliest sort of person who selfishly adopts a cat while depressed and then tries to rid themselves of this life they took responsibility for. I adopted a cat a few months ago. She's loud, clingy, and sometimes annoying. I wouldn't trade her for the world. My cat likes to walk up to me and turn his head sideways, then plop down and beg for belly rubs. It can be annoying when I'm cooking, but only because it's too adorable to ignore. What down? She used the Google search bar to search Google, then clicked the first result to take her to the Google homepage. I existed when convenient. She was homophobic. I am bisexual and heard I had a small crush on her. I am female. And she tried making the whole class turn against me. Everyone ganged up on her and she ended up moving school. That's rough. I really did like her until she tried humiliating me for being a freak and not being straight. He told me in front of our entire 9th grade classroom. Haha. It's not like anyone's ever going to want to marry you. For some reason this was in geography class and we were talking about child brides and the teacher awkwardly used the two of us as an example. Hence the response. I'm engaged now. So not to him. Though. I found out she couldn't handle any sort of stress or pressure at all and would just give up. Left basically everything she touched half finished. I've found in my life that stress and pressure are the best indication of someone's true nature. It's easy to have a great relationship when everything is good. Totally agree. That said, given the current situation, I reckon a lot of people are finding that out. Divorce lawyers are going to be busy after lockdowns end and have already been in countries that have come out of lockdown. Oof. I'm in this comment and I don't like it. I had a crush on a girl for like a month. Asked her for her number, she gave it to me and we went out. Ever hear someone monologue for 2 hours about what an awesome person they are? Yup. Non-stop. She was shocked I didn't call her back. I realized she was mean. About 4 years ago. I moved in next door to a beautiful woman. She was fun and we got along great. We started doing activities together. We hiked. We worked out. We watched movies. Then one day, we went to a fast food drive-thru and she completely berated the workers for no good reason. I was mortified. Then as we were driving away she said, "They're the stupidest people. They never listen." Then I said, "You know they probably spit in your food. Right?" She gave me a "thanks a lot" look. My crush ended that day. There's just something different about that kind of mean. I'm working on it, but I have a terrible mean streak, but I've never yelled at a service worker in my whole life. I don't even understand it. It's not even mean, it's like an instinct to social climb almost. I can't wrap my head around it. Some people are jerks. Yeah. She had no reason to start berating the workers like that. She started laying onto them about fresh bread before she even ordered. It was a Jimmy John's. Then as we left she told me how stupid they were and never listen. They were super nice to her and didn't deserve that. Some people are just insecure and unhappy with themselves and have to project it to everyone else instead of looking into a mirror. Played hard to get. Why, yep. There's a certain type of person. Regrettably. That playing hard to get works on. Everybody else will just roll their eyes and move on. Don't play hard to get when you're hard to want. Can't play hard to get when you are hard to want. Just as things were picking up, she started showing maniacal signs, crazy controlling with terrible mood swings. He blew up at our waitress for absolutely no reason other than his having a bad day. Idiot. Beautiful to look at, but boring to know. I've come across a lot of those in my life. And conversely, there are people who become a whole lot more attractive once you get to know them better. I am grateful to have a few friends like that second type. That's honestly a big fear that I have. I'm really shy and quiet. So quite a few people see me as this mysterious guy that doesn't say much. But I'm a pretty boring person. Played those mental games with me, where I had to guess what she means, wants. I much prefer people to be very blunt with me. My bisexual friend liked a girl until he found out that she's homophobic. He asked to borrow my hardback of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. That was my favorite of the series and I happily lended it to him. 6 months later he finally returned it. The dust jacket was torn. The corners were dented and the spine was broken. That book had been in pristine condition and I nearly cried that he took such little care of it. My 6th grade nether regions were turned to dust. Screw you, Trevor. You book ruining barbarian. I remember when I first started reading long books I would have the page slightly bent and it would actually create like a crack in the cover. After that happened I became extremely paranoid about bending book covers. I hate hard covers as well, so this is my only option. Honestly, if it was returned in 6 months but still in good condition, I'd personally be annoyed, but fine. They forgot. I do that too. But having it in that terrible a condition? How? Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more videos.